He said no more, give everybody an equal go.
What first got you into politics?
The reality is that existing in this society where I was of a group of people who had been carefully and in a very sophisticated way demobilised politically through the Thatcher years to now, the Thatcherised Labour Party was kind of the only opportunity for political expression really, and those political parameters were so small that what that meant was you had to strike back in your own ways and you had to sort of fashion a political education. But even though you'd be doing that reading independently, you'd also be politicised by the society. I'm part of the War on Terror generation. That means that I am from a group that have been detained under Schedule 7 Terrorism Act. I'm from a group that have been surveilled more than most really in society. And
is it true you had to go into hiding at one stage?
No, I didn't.
Right.
No, I never did. I never did. I stopped making music. I stopped making music in 2012. Yeah. But I was still active. And in fact, the things that happened to me during that period were more intense actually, because I had less protection. When you're not public, you have less protection.
What was it like to be locked up in an Israeli prison for a night?
This is a normal experience that people that, you know, obviously you've got a huge proportion of the Palestinian population that have been arrested for arbitrary detention. You've got a huge proportion of the people that want to go and visit Palestine are detained. So it's not a kind of exceptional experience. You know. What was more interesting was the kind of questions I was asked in interrogation, because obviously the level of intelligence that they had about me, the access to information in terms of lyrics and stuff was quite advanced. So that was an interesting experience.
Do you think your political stance has affected your career detrimentally?
Probably yes and no, because on one side you have that contradiction within our political system, which says the parameters of political choice are so small that when people do understand something that's coming from outside of those parameters, they take to it and support it. But of course, when you're looking at the music industry, you have entrenched, established interests of the ruling class very clearly at work. So it does mean that at least on an informal level, if not on a formal level, you will face some form of censorship.
What's your thoughts on the current state of the Labour Party?
It exists as a weapon against the hundreds of thousands of people who join it to support Jeremy Corbyn. It is cleansing the party of the people that join on that basis, and it is using the diverting of the conversation from about Palestinian liberation to about anti-Semitism as a political strategy. It's a political strategy to push people like us out of the party, and it is a key entrenchment of the political parameters of choice.
What's your musical plans for the future?
I have a show coming in December to celebrate the 10 years of the release of my album in 2010. Completely independent. It's always been independent, always will be independent, and yeah, on December 15th we've got that show at Jazz Cafe in London.
Thanks,
Nice one, brother. Nice one.